I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-Minute Convos, where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good night, Josh Steimle. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful night?
Fantastic. Having a great day. And it's morning here where I am in China.
Oh, that's intriguing. What part of China are you in right now?
I'm in Shenzhen, China. It's on the southern end close to Hong Kong.
All right. And which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this time?
Well, I do a lot of things. I do marketing, I do speaking, I do writing.
Ooh, which do you love the most?
You know, I really love writing. Writing has been huge for me. It's brought me to where I am today in so many ways.
Yeah. Tell us about what you've written, please.
So I've written over 300 articles for Forbes, Mashable, TechCrunch, Fortune, a ton of other business magazines. I have a book out there called Chief Marketing Officers at Work, and I do a lot of blogging and a lot of writing on social media.
So who did you learn the skill of sharing who you are and your thoughts on paper?
Well, I grew up reading a lot of books. I was a voracious reader. My mom taught me to love reading. And so I always loved reading. And I think if you love reading, you end up loving writing as well, because you want to share your thoughts. And so that's what really gave me the thirst and passion for writing. And then I learned how to share my thoughts when I was a Mormon missionary for the LDS Church in Brazil a few years ago. And I had to share my thoughts for 2 years with everybody that I could find. And that's where I learned how to get talkative and be open and talk with people I didn't know in awkward situations. And now I do that all the time.
It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a blast.
So tell me then, despite the challenges of the learning curve of what you do, right? Why will you continue to repeat those skills?
Well, I just love writing. So I would write even if I didn't have an audience. In fact, I did. I blogged for 10 years. I wrote over 1,000 blog posts and hardly anybody read them, but I wrote them because I enjoyed writing them. And then after 10 years of doing that, then I got signed up to write for Forbes and these other business publications. So it paid off in a big way. But I write for myself. And if anybody else likes it, then that's the extra bonus on top. But I love that other people like reading it too. And when people come up to me and they say, "Hey, I read this article that you wrote and it was really helpful to me in my business," I'm like, man, that's so cool. That's so fun that somebody's actually benefiting from this stuff too. And that keeps me going.
Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations on what you've done there. Wow. How timely, or Steimle, if you would. But Josh, if you had to share with us one thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years, what would it be?
You know, one of the things that's been really helpful for me in my business, I run a marketing agency, and over the past few years, we've been trying to grow this business and scale it. And it's been the hardest thing for me, but it's been probably the core secret of my success is I've gotten lazy. I've not been working. And that's been the cause of my success, because I went out and I found other people to run my business who are better at running it than I am. And then I stepped back. And even though I really want to give advice and I really want to jump in and say, do it this way and stop doing that and start doing this, I resist the temptation as much as I can. And I just let them run things. And they've been able to grow it and make it so much better than I was ever able to make it on my own. And I've realized that a lot of people hold themselves back from success because they interfere too much. They bring in great people to their business, but then they don't let them do their thing. And I understand now why it's so hard to let people do their thing when you think you know better. But I've been trying to keep my hands off and trying to distract myself with other stuff. And it's worked out really well for my business and helped me to do a lot of things, but it's helped the company to really grow. It's been exciting to watch.
Now tell us the name of the company and how it makes you feel doing this now.
It's called MWI, and we're a full-service digital marketing agency. We have about 35 people. We're in 5 countries around the world. And I've been running this business since 1999. The first 14 years were complete, utter failure pretty much. I mean, it looked like we were successful, but we weren't. And the last 4 years have just been amazing growth, amazing success. It's been so fun. But the only thing I can take credit for is bringing in the right people and letting them do their thing. And now we're working with these great clients, and I love working with great clients and seeing them succeed. And that's the big satisfaction that's coming out of the business right now. Well, that, and then I love seeing the people in the business succeed. That's probably a bigger joy for me than seeing the clients succeed, is the people that we hire and bring in and seeing them progress and grow.
Suggest to someone that's listening out there why they should do what you've done by stepping away.
Well, if you don't step away, then your business depends on you. It can't live without you. And that means it can't grow, because everything it does requires you to be involved. And so you have to start stepping away so that the business can grow on its own. And that's the lesson I learned, stepping away. And it was hard because people would be calling me at all hours of the night and saying, hey, what do I do here? What do I do here? And I just turned my phone off and decided not to respond to them. And then they'd figure it out. And then the next time they wouldn't call me anymore. And then they just stopped calling me altogether. And I feel kind of lonely, but at the same time, the business is doing fantastic because it's learned to operate without me, which means I can go add value and I can do extra stuff, but I don't have to do anything. And that's been the key to growth. And that's what really everybody who wants to scale a business should do, is they need to step back and delegate and put other people in and see how it does without them. And where it can't survive without you, that's a problem that needs to be fixed.
Amazing audience, you're hearing it live here from Josh Steimle again. Josh, do you have a podcast?
I do. I just launched mine last month. It's called the Influencer Inc. podcast, and we teach people how to become thought leaders and more influential.
Sweet. Oh, we almost left that out. How dare we, right? Well, this has been great. Well, Josh, hey, let's switch gears for a moment now, and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Josh, what is your earliest childhood memory?
My earliest childhood memory, my third birthday, I remember getting a little swimming pool for my birthday and how excited I was for that, and going out and filling that up in the backyard, like one of those tiny pools,
right?
And filling that up and playing around in that. Like, that's one of my earliest memories.
Why do you think this memory is so clear?
I don't know, like 3 years old, that's kind of when you start learning language and stuff, so you can form memories. And birthdays are a big event, right? It's like a big deal. And somehow that memory just like stuck with me. I remember I was wearing a sweater when I opened what kind of sweater I was wearing when I was opening my birthday presents and everything. It's pretty clear.
Yeah, that's intriguing. How do you see that memory connecting to who you are today?
I have no idea. I mean, I still like birthday parties, and I still like wearing sweaters, and I still like swimming. But other than that, I'm not sure how it connects exactly.
And can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Sure thing.
I love the idea that you shared, in that when you distracted yourself into doing the things that you loved doing, taking your attention, if you would, away from the thing that you would put your time into, which is the model of the business where it's all you, how so many other aspects of your life connected and was much better. To see you as a child stepping away with the gift and going and setting up the pool and just being contented with who you are, and now to see that being one of the parts that has helped you to be so much more contented, if you would. It's pretty intriguing how those both connect.
Yeah, it's something I need to get back to. I have a hard time letting go these days. Anytime I don't have enough work, I tend to pile on more work rather than enjoying the time off and doing fun stuff.
Yeah, and again, probably you do the work, but go build the pool, right? And then go and enjoy it, yeah?
Yes.
But just if we fast forward to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
Yeah, the first album I ever bought was Violent Femmes, was the first CD that I ever bought. Back in the day when we had CDs. Now the kids don't even know what a CD is, let alone vinyl or audio tapes or stuff. But that was the first album I bought, and the song Blister in the Sun was one of my favorite songs. That's why I bought that album.
Wow, and that's intriguing how it connects, right? I mean, who would have thought that there would have been joy in building a pool and blistering in the sun, right?
That's right.
Ooh, it's amazing how it connects, isn't it, Josh?
Yeah, these are good memories. I haven't thought about this stuff for a while.
That's great. Well, Josh, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready, Josh?
I'm ready.
Josh, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Yes.
Are you married?
Yes.
Do you have children?
Yes.
Do you believe in God?
Yes.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yes.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No.
How about 3 hours a week?
No.
What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Probably more than 8 hours a day.
If you, Josh, had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents Josh Steimle, what would you say that is?
It depends on the role. But if I had to choose something that I wanted to be remembered as, I'd want to be remembered as a guy who is honest and authentic and hardworking and kind and helped other people.
Love it. Josh Steimle, this was a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Just the idea that you can do a lot more than you think you're capable of. You might think that you're limited or you're not that smart or you're not that good looking, but trust me, you can do so much more than you think you're capable of.
Love it. Josh Steimle, again, that guy building that pool, right? At that tender age of 3. You can do so much more. So much more. Josh Steimle, thank you, my friend, for being on what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thanks so much, Angel.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.